Good morning. My name is Chuck Snow. I'm an Eastern USA Regional Manager for Microdrones and GeoQ. I'd like to tell you about one of our Microdrones products. We call it the EasyOne. Real easy to fly, smallest system on the market today. It weighs less, and we'll run through some slides, but it weighs less than 13 pounds with everything on it. All of our systems have LiDAR and cameras on them so you can color out the point cloud, take pictures, create orthos, that kind of thing. We also have, and again, you'll see this as I run through the slides, we have NDA compliant versions if that's something that you need as well. So, we started, the reason this came about, a year or so ago is, I don't know if any of y'all know our sensors and our packages. Cases were big, we wanted to protect our drones. Most people have decent sized drones, and our customers, we have a lot of them out there around the world, and they said we want it to be smaller, 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 we want it to be easy to use. So everything with us on the Microdrone side is an integrated package. When I say that, that means your controller, talks to the system, it talks to the LiDAR, it talks to everything. If you wanted to do a flight plan, it'll do everything automatic for you, as long as you put the area you want to fly in it. You can do it with your finger if you want to. You can draw on there, draw on the screen, it'll do it, and it'll fly for you, including, everything for the IMU and all that kind of stuff. It'll come back and land. Swap it. One battery's all that goes in it. And it'll fly for 40 minutes. I know everybody brags on their 40-minute flight time, but I've been around over 100 missions with this. One of the things that this has that I don't know if anybody else has, it's got real-time terrain following. What I mean by that is we're processing LiDAR information on the fly, and the drone changes elevation based on that information. And it knows how to move the trees out of the way and go to ground when it does that. I've seen it a lot. I was one of the missions I was on, y'all know that LiDAR does not like to bounce off dark objects, and I was on a demo, and it was coal ash. From Alabama, we have a lot of that down there. So I was worried about it because to make it even worse for me, it was a demo with a bunch of people, and it rained the night before, which makes the coal ash worse. So I talked to the flight guy, I said, hey man, is this gonna work or not? I'm on a demo, don't make this look bad. So, and it did. And we flew for 38 minutes, changing elevation up to 50 meters during the flight, and we could have flown about 7 or 8 minutes when we landed. So it does fly. Again, to give you full disclosure, 3 to 5 mile an hour winds is all we had. But it did a great job on that kind of stuff. So some of our LiDAR specs are in there. This is basically a 3 to 5 centimeter tool, depending on which sensor you get. And we have different ones that you can use with it, depending on what your needs are. It's a Hesai Pandar for most of the sensors that we sell. People will like those. It works really well. If you need NDA compliant, it's an Alstra OS2. So we have that on there as well, if you need that sensor. We have different controllers. Notice I highlighted the weight. It's very light. That's one reason we can fly for a long time. This whole kit, when it's in a box, is 31 by 16 by 16. The whole kit and everything weighs about 35 pounds, so you can put it in a car or anything else. So it's really easy to carry around. Again, our old box was, to put it in comparison, was 3 by 3 by 2 feet. So you can understand why our customer said, hey, can you make this dang thing smaller? So, so we did. So it's been a great tool for us and for our customers. Lightweight, easy to use. When you can just draw your finger around a thing and say, push the button and go fly that. A lot of guys are intimidated with flying drones and all the stuff that you might have to do. You don't have to do that with ours. It'll do everything for you, basically. So some of the density, you can get all the density you want. Guys, if you're already flying, you know that, we knock out 300 points per meter, but we always take it down, right? Because you can't, your CAD program will die if you try to bring that kind of stuff in. So we can grid file in our software. It's all done in LP360. You've heard about that if you've been in here today for a while. I think we have the best software out there. Everybody integrates drones and does drones and creates sensors, that kind of stuff. But our software is an end-to-end solution for everything, including deliverables that you need, and QA QC tools. So talking about a couple of the sensors, I'll just run through these. I want to talk a little bit more about the software, really, because there's a lot of them out there. I'm an old mapper. I was retired. I sold my company in 2010. And somebody asked me to come into this in 2012. I thought it was foolish and silly because my mapping system, my airplane, was quite expensive. And these were, toys that cost $50,000 or less. I said, there's no way I'm going to get good data out of this. But here I stand before you today. after 10 or 11 years of being in the business because the stuff is really good, really, really good. And our software, one reason I like it is because not only do you do trajectories and the normal processing stuff, but there's really good QA, QC tools that are in there based on ASPRS standards. If you're going to assign your name to a contour, you've got to know that your data is indeed legal for you to do that. That's inside of our software. If you need to compare to your check shots, it's easy to do that. It'll highlight the ones in red where there's a problem. You can tin your surface after you've run through our ground classification, and you can say, okay, where is that problem? Why are those control shots off? Did I do a bad shot, or is there something that our auto ground classification did not catch? And you can draw a pylon across that, roll across it, see it. Yeah, I didn't catch that, some high grass or something. You click below that, hit the space bar, it's gone, retin it, ding, not all your control shots turn good. It'll give you the numbers right there, your X, Y, and Z, RMSE. Based on ASPR standards, you can create this, contour, so you know where you are and where you stand, before you do anything else. So usually we process, do strip a line if necessary, debias, and then do a QA/QC. Do I need to go forward after that? And if you have some kind of a problem with your check shots or data, you can fix it then. It's just showing some of the other sensors, some of the other grid. You can easily fly 100 acres, 200 acres on one battery with this, 5 meters a second, 70, 80 meters above the ground. So cover a lot of ground, with this when you're flying. Really, drones, guys, if you're using them or not using them, y'all know it's a difficult hiring process now to get a guy to go out in the woods. People don't want to do it anymore, really. So the last 5 or 7 years, I work mainly in the Southeast, but I do cover the Eastern United States. It's difficult to get somebody to go out and do this, and we found that this kind of technology is about 60 times faster than humans. I don't care if it's 5 guys or 10, I don't care. The drone's just way, way, way faster. I'm doing another talk, tomorrow or the next day about a project that we did. It was really difficult. We did 300 acres and knocked it out all in one day. So, but I've been on projects where we did 1,800 acres in 3 days in Texas on a difficult project. Drones are just so fast at what they do, and if you're really good in good data and you can QC the data, the data is good, then it can help you because you can't hire people now. You can get more of these systems. So again, I'm just running through specs on the systems. Y'all can see them or come by the booth. We're in 609. Talk about those things, and I want to leave a little time for questions. Density again. One thing that we have again is sometimes drones go down. I have found over the last 10 or 12 years, and I've trained over 500 people to use drone technology, that somebody usually makes a mistake. It's just the way it is. You can't help it. We're all humans, right? We do something, make a mistake. Sometimes it's a drone problem. You have a battery failure. There is a way to look at your batteries. I've done over 1,000 drone flights, guys. So I've played with this stuff for quite some time, the last 10 or 12 years. So we have a replacement program. If it goes down, we don't care what happened. We don't care if you hit something or died, it's on us. We can have that if you want it. If you don't want it, that's fine. But if you want to do that, we have that you can buy when you buy your drone if you want to, and we'll send you another one. You don't have to worry about being down, arguing with the insurance, and any of that kind of stuff. So you can do it. Just to show you a couple of pictures about just a little bit about our system and how it works. You see the NDAA and the non-NDAA compliant. Things have to be different. Controllers have to be different. No Chinese stuff. So we have that. Depending on it, showing the case there again, 31 by 16 by 16 inches, tiny. Some of the specs on the NDAA version. Densities. There's the sensor. There's that. It's an Ouster. If you are familiar with that sensor, made in America. A lot of points. A lot of noise. But that's another good reason to use our software. We have lots of tools in there to really get you a nice, clean point cloud out of the stuff you use. The new sensor, that's the one at the top, and that's the old one, our old NDAA compliance sensor on the bottom. It's American. You can see that it's putting out a lot more points, right? So you be sure that you get a lot of stuff to the ground and be able to cover everything. So there's a roof of the building. In fact, that's our office building. A lot more points than the other sensor got. So anyway, on the data processing side, I've told you about this. LP360, not only does it do the normal processing, but there's lots of tools. We have auto extraction on transmission lines, rail lines, ortho creation, debiasing, denoising, smoothing, lots of tools in there that can help you produce really clean and accurate LiDAR data. One of the things I haven't mentioned, it's not in the slide deck, but I want to because one of our engineer guys, I'm not a smart guy, we got a lot of smart guys at the office. We created something called an accuracy star. Come by the booth and see it. what that does is, again, I've put out those little bitty black and white targets, all that kind of stuff, and you can use them to do different things to look at, to check your data with. But the accuracy star is 6 round white circles because LiDAR bounces really well off those. We've critically measured all of those. And if you put one of those out on your site and the sensor sees it, automatically inside of our software it says, I see an accuracy star. Would you like to look at your data compared to what it is off the accuracy star? It's on a tripod like a GPS. And you can put your GPS logging static on the same tripod if you want to. It will see that, it will say, do you want to correct, here's your X, Y, and Z error right now. Before you go any farther, do you want to look at that? That's part of the QA/QC process that we have now. And you can do that so you know where you are. And I'd like to talk to you, but not here, but talk to you about some really good data that we got using that on a DOT project where the data was better than I thought it should be. I mean, off one of our sensors. I didn't believe it and we didn't process it. This is the customer. And the DOT that did that, and the data was absolutely fantastic. It was so good at GPS. They ran levels on the control, and when we looked at our data against the control, it was better than GPS. We have sensors that you have to use other tools. GPS is not accurate enough on some of our sensors because it will make the data worse than it really is. So we got a couple of sensors like that. If you want to talk about it, you can come out of the booth. Any questions on anything at all? Thank you so much for your time, guys. I appreciate it.